Yeah, lads. We've been trying to get this car on the channel for a good couple of weeks now. We've finally got it out. The first time I went out in it, it was about a week ago, and if you've got me on Instagram, you would have seen this car. Fuck! So windy. It's a bit controversial me doing this because I am a Subaru fan. And I seen these and I didn't really know much about them, to be perfectly honest. I knew it was an Evo 6 and I've heard this word Tommi Makinen being spread around. At the time I didn't really know much about a Tommi Makinen, didn't know what it was. I didn't really know what they were, how expensive they were, or why they were so special. I got in this car and this car is nothing but standard. And I just thought the Tommi Makinens were like a bit of a limited edition, you know, maybe a couple grand extra, maybe just some nicer seats. And I researched them last night. And I initially didn't know how special these were, but looking at the prices, a Tommi Makinen Evo will go for around, average one will go for around about 16 grand, where a normal Evo 6 will go for about 6 grand. So there's a good 10 grand extra. Now when you look down to it, the extras of them, do they add up to 10 grand extra? I'm not quite sure, but you're buying the rarity more than the actual performance add-ons. Now this one is not just a standard Tommi Makinen. I've never been in anything like this. When I first went to the passenger for this car, it truly actually scared me, and I was really nervous about doing this review today, especially with the weather. It's wet, it's windy, it's definitely, we're on semi-slicks. It's definitely not what you want to be driving on in the rain. This one is running, it's got a dyno printout of 570 horsepower. Now a mate called Danny owns this Evo. He's come up to me at a few meets and says, oh Lee, I've got an Evo and it's forged and it's this, and I've met him about 3 times now and it's never been ready. And I got to the point where I was like, has he actually got this Evo? I come to a car meet about a week ago and he comes, taps me on the shoulder and he says, oh, the Evo's ready, the Evo's ready. I'm like, oh shit, we'll go and have a look at it, thinking it was, you know, it was just maybe like, you know, Evo with a remap, whatever. And then I ended up posting an Instagram video. At this point I thought, what the fuck, like what the fuck? And he has a dyno printout on it on his windscreen at this meet, and it's running 570 horsepower, 2.2 stroker, forged, big turbo, bigger injectors, screamer pipe out the bonnet. It's absolutely insane. Twin plate pedal clutch, got a twin plate. It's got a twin plate, oh my god. It's got a twin plate paddle clutch. It says the gearbox is standard, but for some reason it's so notchy, so unless it's got a short shifter on it or something, but it genuinely feels like it has. So in relation to the Tommi Makinen thing, as I read online, the differences weren't, what's the word I could use? Weren't significantly noticeable. As it comes to power, the power figures are exactly the same, which is interesting actually. Now the power figures for this car, it says 276 brake horsepower. Now this is a time in Japan where all the Japanese manufacturers, they had a gentleman's agreement of that they would kind of release the cars with the same brake horsepower figures, even though some did more. They did this just basically so they weren't bragging about the horsepower. The Skylines did it, all of them did it. So what these came out of factory is it could be a lot higher. But the Tommi Makinen, it was designed as a celebration because Tommi Makinen won his 4th consecutive rally championship. Don't know why they chose 4th, bit of a random number to choose, but they chose 4th. And with this one, it seemed like they were trying to make it more of a road car than a rally car. All the Evos before were made pretty much for rally. Now this one, this Tommi Makinen one, they took the spotlights off the front, they've made it lower, and they've tuned the car to be better on tarmac, whereas the ones before were pretty much made for gravel and snow, etc. However, this one, they tried to make it a lot more street, and they've took that a little bit further by putting a really quicker steering rack in. Obviously it's better around the tarmac, I'm not sure why, but they've put a quicker steering rack in. Now personally, I always thought that the Evo 8s and the Evo 9s were the superior Evos. Personally, I did really like the Evo 9s and Evo 8s and the 9s, and I never really cared about the Evos before. I obviously respected them, but after doing the research online, I didn't actually understand, you know, how significant these were in the rally scene, in the Japanese car scene, and just in automotive scene altogether. Like, I truly respect this so much more. This is kind of like the start of the Evo era. And with this Evo, they released something called Yaw Control. I'm not entirely sure what it means. I have researched so much, and in engineering knowledge it makes sense, but I don't have the engineering knowledge. To me, what it kind of is it's kind of like a gearbox and a diff which can control individual specific torque to each wheel. And I read up online as well, it can actually individually
manipulate the steering for each wheel. I'm not sure how that works. I didn't know if these cars had 4-wheel steering or it's a different kind of thing. But what I've read up online, it can basically work out what wheel needs to go where around the corner to keep you planted. Madness. Now, the Tommi Makinens wanted to do a little bit prettier, and instead of adding things which are actually going to help the car go around a corner, they actually added some lovely little touches as well. Like the seats are absolutely gorgeous. They've got Tommi Makinen edition stitched into the, I'm guessing that's Alcantara there. And they decided that they want to put a massive weapon on the rear boot. So at this point they thought, what's better than having one spoiler? We'll put 2 on. Now the interesting thing about the Tommi Makinen ones is that colour will make a huge difference on price. Now you can get the silver and the blues, they go for around about 16 grand. If you can get a red one, the red with the white WRC striping, for some reason these are like the epitome of Evos, and I think they only ever made 200 of the red ones. They're stretching for around about 25 grand if you get it in red, so it's a hell of a lot of money for such an old car. Now it's all well and good, oh the Tommi Makinen's the best Evo ever had, all this stuff, it's better than the 8s, it's better than the 9s, it's better than Subarus, yeah, it's all good. But I always like to find things I don't like about the cars. That's why the whole reason is called Brutally Honest Reviews. I try and nitpick every little thing that I don't like about the cars. Now, I've done a lot of cars which I really truly can find a lot of things about. When you're getting into old cars, it gets more and more difficult to find things you don't like because everything's just so simple and they don't go over the top. And when you get to old style Jap cars, it's even more difficult because they put everything that you need and that's it. And they do it so simply. So I got in this car and I'm trying to nitpick for around about half an hour, 45 minutes of things I don't like. And I think we've come up with 1, maybe 2 things. One of these things aren't even the Evo itself, it's literally just the owner. But I've got to put at least one thing there. One thing is, he's took out the radio and he's put gauges in there. So I don't know, Danny, you might be into that stuff. Me personally, I want to listen to a bit of Westlife now and again. But because I need to find something, I have been extra picky on this. And just to prove how picky I've been, I've actually gone over the things which I thought wouldn't have been good, but they've actually turned out to be alright. The only bad thing, the seats are fixed. Obviously they're not fixed so you can go forward and back and you can recline. But, you know, I like when I'm in a sports car, I like to sit low. This car, I do sit a little bit high. Obviously that is a lot better for driving and tracking and stuff because you can actually, you know, you can see more of the road. But personally, I like to sit a little bit lower. I just feel like a little bit more sporty when you're lower down in the car. Now a good example is normally in a lot of Japanese cars, they have very flimsy, whatever you want to call them, vanity mirror covers. But this one, no, it actually works proper. A lot of the Jap cars, they flap down, they're flopping around, but no, that's good. Normally a lot of the Jap style cars as well, they have old style, like a knob to the heater. This has actually got climate control and it's actually got air conditioning. And it's actually got a pretty hazard button as well. And as I've just been looking actually, we found that there's actually no cup holders in the car, so fuck you Tommi Makinen, we've got you up on another one. Now to extend on the fact it's got climate control and air conditioning, this car was made in 2000 and it's got full electric windows all the way around, and it's got electric fold-in mirrors, which some cars of today don't even have, and it's also got the adjustable wing mirror itself. But to have fold-in mirrors in a car from 2000, it's incredible. But then again, when you look at the price tag of this car when it first came out, it was 32 grand new. And back in 2000, that's a lot of money. Right, enough of me nitpicking about this car. Let's go and drive it. Now, the frightening thing about this car is, although it's pretty much 600 brake, there is no boost limit and there is no torque limit in first and second. So all that power will go through first and second gear, and it's absolutely terrifying. Now I'm not sure what springs are on this car, but as you can probably see from the camera bouncing around every fucking where, they're so stiff. On a track it'd be amazing, but for roads like this, my god is it difficult. My god, it's difficult to drive. Overall the car is just not easy to drive. Yes, it's good at handling, it can handle itself and you know, it's confident in it. But the clutch is so heavy, the ride's dead heavy, the gearbox is so notchy. It is a difficult car to drive, it really is. Right, so the roads are a little bit dry here. The roads are a little bit dry, so we're going to do a quick pull uphill.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's really one one of those cars that you have to get used to because there's absolutely nothing like it. I mean, by the time you're at peak, by the time you're about to change to third, you're going that quick. There's not even any point. Let's see. Let's go in a second. Oh my god! Oh, like it actually takes your breath away. Like it's actually worse or similar to being on a roller coaster. Like you actually get that feeling where your lungs are actually like behind you. Oh my god, but it's so good because you have that confidence in the four-wheel drive that you're not skitting all over the road. You can probably see there a little bit that the wheel's going a little bit out of place because it's the car almost crabs down the side of the road because you've got each wheel, you've got so much torque going to each wheel, it kind of just kicks you all across the road. We got straight here. Oh, we missed the gear. It just goes through the gears so quick. I've never been in a car that can just blip through third that fast. Now Dan says that obviously these come factory with Brembos, and I'm pretty sure he's got bigger vented discs on. But Dan says he's really not happy with the pads. He's actually got EBCL stuff on at the minute, and I can actually tell that they're quite spongy. There's a lot of brake play. Don't know whether it's just because the pads are burnt out, but Dan said he's not very happy with them pads, and it's making me actually quite, happy the fact that I've not gone with them. Obviously this needs them a hell of a lot more than mine does, and I'm actually used to the indicator on the right. Jap cars, imports. But yeah, I do think he needs some new brake pads because they are really spongy. It actually makes your face pull faces that you didn't think were possible. Oh god, the ride. And it makes you make noises you didn't think were possible. Danny's considering going over 600 with it, and obviously me sitting in this car now it's like, what's the point? But power's power and you always get used to it. But wow. Wow.
So yeah guys, I was always one of those people who, I love the 7s, the 8s and the 9s, and I always thought anything before that was a little bit outdated and not up to date and not as fresh. But am I wrong? This is absolutely insane. I totally have so much respect for this car now. Like, I absolutely love it so much. I'm gonna have to give it back to Dan. I really don't want to. I want to just keep it for myself. But this has been one of the most fun days I've had ever. Like, I absolutely love this car. I have got some videos coming up after this, and I have took my mum out, and she is the worst passenger in the entire world. I have to create a whole backstory just to get her out in the car, and I feel so mean for doing it. She cried her eyes out. It was the best reaction ever. I feel so bad for doing it, but stay tuned for that one, guys. That's going to be so funny. Huge thanks to Dan for lending us the car. Like, it's amazing that I can do this and get opportunities to do this. It's absolutely insane. So thanks for watching, guys. I love you all. See you next time.